So, you want to hear another story, eh? Well, if you want to hear a story about adventures, dangerous treasure, vaults, you've come to the wrong place. Go away. If you want to hear a story about the hero, well, you came to the right place. Hey guys, it's the Unsmooth Criminal, and I'm here with a very special what if. It's close to my heart because I love this game. I love the characters, I love the personalities, and I just found out that Laz or Hell Roman Sis or Hell Nico Roman Sis, the immortal on Discord, in my Discord chat is known as, loves this game too, or she didn't say she loved the game, but she liked the game and she plays it. And she gave me the idea of a Siren what if. And she gave me the idea after we got on to topic about voice lines from smart people. And I forget what the first voice line was, but I put in, "Never stop the killing! Never! Never!" And then Killer Grimlock put it in, "Rip and tear. Rip and tear until it is done." So, if you guys can list the places that those voice lines came from, hey, you can get 1,000 points on Discord, which you can get a ship ticket with 5,000 points and a yeet ticket for 750. So you should keep saving until you know what you want to buy. Anyways, on to the what if. So this is not going to be the what if. This is Tiny Tina. She's going to be in the story. Tiny Tina is going to be the nickname for a little girl, also known as Tina Bakugo. And she's going to be the twin sister, fraternal twin sister to Bakugo Katsuki. And I'll be right back with the actual picture you guys are going to be seeing. Yes, best Siren Maya. Maya be my waifu. That she be anybody's waifu. But we start off with the image of Maya, because the main character is going to be looking like Maya. And no, she's not a Nico in this story. I know it's a tragedy. Or travesty. It's a tragedy. She's not a Nico in the story. But Maya does have siren powers. She has Lilith from the Borderlands 1. There ain't no rest for no wicked. Money don't grow on trees. That one. And then she has the powers of the third game's siren, Amara. So she has phase walk, she has phase grasp, she has phase slam, and I forget the last one that sends out a projection of her. But she's going to be basically meant being able to project the elements in her abilities. So when she goes into phase, she makes a elemental explosion, and all the other elements are projected in her other abilities. And she's mainly a hand-to-hand combat fighter. But she does know how to use guns, and she can add acid, fire, electricity, slag. Yes, slag is going to be in here, but it's more of a tar effect, where it burns their skin and slows their movement and makes them sticky effect. So it doesn't increase the damage she does. No. It makes them sticky. But yes, if they get phase grasped by something or hit by any phase ability from Maya, she does deal more damage. And she gets explosive damage. She can make her bullets explosive, but she prefers not to. And she doesn't like bullets very much. Like in the other games where most sirens are STG. That's Sweaty Tryhard gun from World War II. COD. Uh, SMG. Submachine gun. Oh my god, why was that so hard to think of? But they're not based on submachine gun. They're not literally submachine gun based anymore. Amaro is melee based in 3, but you need the face puncher and the fish slap and a few shields to increase the melee damage. But we're not going to add, well, we're actually adding the Rough Rider shield. That's it. It's the only shield. If anybody knows what the Rough Rider does, good on you. If you don't know what the Rough Rider does, look it up. Vinylic Puma has a great guide on the Rough Rider for Borderlands 1, or no, Borderlands 2, Borderlands pre-sequel, I think, had the Rough Rider, and Borderlands 3. So go check him out. He's a great YouTuber. Vulgarity awaits. Yeah. So, Maya is the only siren in existence in this universe. Once she loses her powers, they are gone forever. No one's getting them. So I don't have to go on, oh, they've been around for millions and millions of years. This is what they've been doing. No, I don't want to do that. So she's the only siren in existence, and she's born to a poor priestly family. And she's raised in a American town where everybody knows her as the good girl that's mainly faith driven. And she goes, I need to get out of this town. This town is holding me back. So she runs away. And she runs away and she finds this man who sees her markings and says, oh, you must be special. I might as well train you. And she goes, oh, okay. And he trains her in martial arts, mixed martial arts. He trains her in all kinds of martial arts. And we start our story when she's 10, and he finally takes her to a tournament. And this tournament's in Japan. And she walks into the ring and she sees a girl with ears on, and she's bouncing around having fun. And she goes, what is her problem? In the ring, you're supposed to take this seriously. And she's just smiling, having fun, bouncing around. And they say, fight or start, whatever they say in a tournament for martial arts. And this girl basically bounces towards her, and she goes, what? And she is short compared to her. Maya's roughly 5 foot, and this girl is roughly 3.5 foot at this point. And everybody's like, Tiny Tina's doing it again. And Maya overheard all this and is like, Tiny Tina? What? And this girl is running at her, and they start fighting. And Tiny Tina sees that every time she hits this girl, she doesn't do as much damage as she normally does. And Maya sees the same thing. And Maya goes, whoa, stop. You have a Rough Rider too. And she goes, you mean this thingy? It's just my lucky coin. And she starts flicking it up in the air, and every time she flicks it up in the air, they see bruises show up and then disappear. And Maya goes, okay, put that thing back on your back. And she goes, but it's a fun toy to play with. And she goes, I know. Put it back on your back. And she pulls out hers, and hers is goldish blue. The Borderlands 3 Rough Rider. Tiny Tina's is a Borderlands 2 Rough Rider, which is different. And she goes, I will give you a proposition. And Tina goes, what? She goes, if you turn off your Rough Rider, and she goes, I don't know how to do that. It's my lucky coin. I always keep it on me. And she goes, if you could put it on the corner of this stadium, I'll take mine off. and we'll have a fair fight. And if you win, you get my lucky coin. And she hears lucky coin and she goes, oh, really? And she goes, yes. But if I win, you become my friend and help me get a place here in Japan. And she goes, deal. I like lucky coins. And she sees the little glowing coin, and Maya puts it on the corner and says, if you win, you get that. If I win, you help me. And Tina goes, sure thing. And Maya goes, okay. And she walks over to the guy and says, can we use our quirks? And he goes, if both participants agree to manage their quirks, we will allow quirk usage. And she goes, I agree. And Tina goes, yeah, let's do this. And he goes, okay. Pins count as points. Hits count as points. And quirk hits count as more points. And quirk pins count as less points. And she goes, I don't need a quirk pin. And Tina starts lighting explosions in her hands. She goes, this is going to be fun. Yeah. And she goes, oh, so you're a demolitionist. And Tina goes, oh, what? And she goes, you like explosions? And she goes, yeah. I got one question before we start. And she goes, okay. And Tina goes, explosions? And she goes, yes. Sure. Okay. And Tina starts laughing like a maniac. And she starts popping more explosions. And she starts darting towards her, using her explosions to boost her forward. And all of a sudden, she gets punched in the face from a rotating arm. And she gets grabbed in the leg by this ability and slammed in the ground. And she gets up and she dusts herself off and she does it again and again and again. An hour later, after they're completely exhausted and Maya's still standing, Tina's on the ground, almost broken and dead because she wouldn't give up. Tina goes, was fun. Nighty night. And she just passes out, starts snoring. And Maya's like, she is so strange. And Maya walks over to the Rough Rider and picks it up and she puts it on Tina. And she walks over to hers and picks up hers and puts it on her back saying, thank you. And he goes, you're welcome. And that was a very interesting fight. And she goes, yeah, has that happened before? And he goes, nope, never. I think I might get fired. And she goes, why? And he goes, I let quirk usage in the dojo. And she goes, don't worry. And she looks around and she goes, oh. And she looks over at her sensei and goes, can you fix that? And he goes, yeah, I'll fix it. And he throws out a turret, and this turret goes onto the ground, and he goes, don't worry, it won't shoot. And all of a sudden, these blocks start shooting off and fixing the walls. And if anybody knows who I'm saying is the sensei, yay! But he goes, since you have someone to help you find a place, now I shall be going. I have other people to take care of. Like my girlfriend, who's currently being a mass murdering maniac of the Crimson Raider and murdering people called the Crimson Raiders on another planet. And Maya goes, what do you mean another planet? He goes, Delu. And he runs. And he just full on runs away. Not even caring that she's like, wait, what? And so he runs to a little buoy and that's on the edge of the ocean. And he clicks on this buoy and he puts an explosive by it and goes, well, hopefully you enjoy your stay here. Bye. And he disintegrates into blue squares. And she goes, what? And all of a sudden the C4 goes off that he placed down. And the buoy thing is gone. It's completely destroyed. And she goes, okay, that asshole needs to come back and tell me what the hell just happened. And she looks at Tina and she goes, well, I gotta lift her up. And she picks up Tina and Tina hugs her and goes, yeah, so comfy. And Tina said this while sleeping, and Maya starts blushing. And she goes, and she's stuttering now, and she's trying to think of words to say. And she walks out of the building, and she sets Tina down on the wall. And Bakugo runs over, asking what happened to Tina. And she goes, oh, she kind of fought. And he goes, and she's this banged. Wait, she's sleeping, isn't she? And Maya goes, yeah. Who are you? And he goes, I'm her sis. Yes, I'm her sister. No, he goes, I'm her brother. And she's freaking annoying to deal with. And Maya goes, I understand that. She made a promise to me to help me find a place to live here because everybody at my home currently is chasing me down. And he goes, what do you mean chasing you down? And she goes, apparently I'm being sold off. And since I'm a good church girl, and he hears church girl, and he goes, where'd you grow up? And she goes, America. And he goes, makes sense. Okay, follow me. And she goes, okay. And he goes, America, ever since that thing showed up, it's been getting worse and worse. And she goes, yeah, it has. So he walks home, and Maya's currently carrying Tina with her arms that are currently on her back. And Tina wakes up. And she shouts some gibberish about some crumpets and Sir Reginald. And Maya looks at him and he goes, hey, don't look at me. She's the weird one in the house. And she goes, oh, okay. And Tina hops down and says, hey, I still beat your ass. And he goes, yeah, I know. You can only do that because you're my big sis. She goes, no, I'm your tiny sis. He goes, yeah. True. But you're older than me, so it's technically called a big sister. And she goes, I don't care. I'm your little sis. Call me Tiny Tina. And she looks at Maya and goes, do the same. And Maya goes, okay. Can I just call you Tina? And she goes, yeah, perfectly fine with me. And she looks at Bakugo and says, what's her real name? And Bakugo goes, I don't even remember. You're going to have to ask my mother. And they get to their house, and Mitsuki greets them, and Mitsuki does have a rabbit quirk because Tina does have a part rabbit quirk mutation. And Bakugo's father has the original explosion quirk. So Bakugo took after their father, and Tina took after both of their parents. So Bakugo goes, oh, Mom, Tina made a bet again. And she looks at Tina and goes, Tina, no chocolate chip cookies or crumpets for a week. And she goes, but it was an easy bet. It was a good bet. I promise. It's not that hard to deal. And she goes, what was the bet for? And she goes, helping this person find a place to live. And she points at Maya, and Maya goes, hi. And Mitsuki goes, oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Sorry about my energetic daughter. She's a pain in the butt. She goes, hey, it's a pain in the ass. And she jumps on her going, isn't that right, Mom? And she goes, yeah. But you're not supposed to say those words. And she goes, I don't care. And hops down and hops on Maya going, I like you. And Maya, her face turns a little red. And Mitsuki noticed this. Nobody else did. And Mitsuki's like, ooh. So that's how it is. Okay. And she's getting really suspicious of Maya, of just wanting a look around. And so she says, Tina, you're all stinky. Go upstairs to shower. Bako, go to your room. And he goes, but, and she goes, no buts. I want to talk to our guest in private for a second. And he goes, fine, I'll go talk to Dad. And she goes, he is going to be talking with me and her. So, no, go to your room and wait for Tina to come get you. And he goes, Tina, you better have full clothes on. She goes, I will. Maybe. And Mitsuki goes, Tina, have full clothes on when you go into your brother's room. Very disrespectful. She goes, I know, but I don't really care. And she goes, I know you don't care. But still, put on full clothes. And Tina goes, fine. So Tina runs upstairs, hopping between steps because she's a little jackrabbit most of the time. And yeah. So she's hopping and having fun and having a blast. And she is just sitting there now, on her bed, trying to listen. And she's thinking, oh, I can just help Maya for a few minutes and then make her my friend. But Maya, on the other hand, is thinking, oh crap, what do I do now? I'm in the house of a stranger. Oh crap. I know I had a promise to the bet, but oh no, what am I about to do? And Mitsuki walks to the sofa and pats the chair next to the sofa and says, please sit down. And Maya sits down in the sofa and says, so the bet was that if I won, she would help me get a place to live, and if she won, she would get this. And she pulled out a glowing coin again, and she goes, oh, you got a Rough Rider. And she goes, yes, I don't know what a Rough Rider is. I just know this is a souvenir from the person who trained me. And Mitsuki goes, oh, that's also a souvenir. The one that Tina has is a souvenir from the person who trained me. And she goes, who was that? And Mitsuki goes, oh, that was a wonderful gentleman named Krieg. He kind of taught me how to fight, how to live as a social outcast, how to be a weirdo, and still love myself for it. He was mentally crazy, though, so he was unstable. Every few seconds or few sentences, he would say, strip the flesh, salt the wound, or some other random phrase. And then when he left me that shield that I gave to Tina, and that shield was the last thing he left. Well, besides the buzz axe, but I don't let anybody touch that. And Maya goes, so what now? And Mitsuki goes, I will help you find a place to stay. First order on the agenda is, do you like my daughter? And her face goes red as a tomato. Thinking, oh crap, okay, what do I say? And Mitsuki goes, okay, no words needed. I know your answer. Just by seeing your interaction with Tina, I know you're not a bad person. So you can stay here in Tina's room. And Maya goes, what do you mean? And she goes, yeah, you could stay in Tina's room. And she yells, Tina, come down here. I know you're listening. And Tina jumps down the stairs and she lands on the ground and goes, yes. And Mitsuki goes, she's staying in your room. And before she can do that, you must shower. And Tina goes, but. And she goes, no buts. Shower. She's fine. So she jumps up the stairs again. You actually start hearing the water run. And she hops in the shower and she showers. And then she gets into her undergarments and she runs down the stairs and says, "Done. You can come in now." And Mitsuki looks over and says, "With your full clothes on." And Maya turned towards Tina while she was like that. And then she immediately turned away and her nose started to bleed. And Mitsuki was holding back a laugh as hard as she could. So Tina ran upstairs, got dressed, ran back downstairs and said, "Okay, now I'm ready." And Mitsuki looks over and goes, "Okay, Maya, follow the one that you'll soon be engaged with up the stairs and go have fun." And she just smiles at Maya, and Maya goes, "Oh God, what is going to happen?" And Tina goes, "Yes, yes, 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 yes." And she walks into Tina's room, and Tina's room is full of bunnies and explosives. And you're asking, why is her room full of explosives? Well, her room's full of explosives because she sweats nitroglycerin, and explosives near her don't do any damage. So, yeah. So if an explosive goes off in her face, nothing happens. If an explosive goes off in her stomach, nothing happens. She may burp up a smoke cloud, but nothing happens. So I'm kind of making her overpowered, especially in explosive situations. So Maya sees that there's only one bed. And she's like, I'm tired. I'll be right back. Don't worry, Tina will have a season. But Maya, after saying sleep, Tina goes, "Oh, good job. Time for bed." And she hops in the bed and pats the bed spot right next to her, saying, "There's room for two." And Maya's nose starts bleeding again. She goes, I'll sleep on the floor tonight. And Tina goes, "But you just got here." And she goes, "I'll be fine on the floor for just tonight." Tina goes, "Okay." And goes, "Nighty night." And she's snoring. She's completely passed out snoring. And Bakugo walks in going, "That was smooth." And Mina gives him a death stare and he goes, "Oh, whoa, I haven't done anything." And she goes, "You know exactly what you've done." And he goes, "Yeah, I know. Rom-coms are funny." And she goes, "What do you mean rom-coms?" And he goes, "Nothing." And he walks out of the room and he shuts the door. And this room was meant to lock from the outside in. So he locks the door. And the only reason why it's a room meant to be locked from the outside in is because Tina has the heat months where she is willing to do it with her own brother. That's how crazy she is. And Mitsuki's like, "Okay, we need to stop this." And Mitsuki has the same months because she's also a rabbit. But she has her husband. So they start taking care of Maya, and Maya returns the favor, and she's gotten really, really close to Tiny Tina. And they're the same age, so Tiny Tina is slowly gaining affection towards Maya. And we get to the age of UA, which in this one is going to be a college. And she walks into the entrance exams. It's Maya and Tiny Tina right next to her. And Tiny Tina's like, "Oh, you know what? We're going to be in the same dorm room." And Maya goes, "Oh God, not again. You say this every time we go to a new school. It's the same dorm room." And she goes, "But I have a good feeling about this one. It's going to be the same dorm room." And she goes, "If we share dorm rooms, we will probably have the same dorm room because we live together already. But if we don't share dorm rooms, well, we're not living together very long, are we? And Tina goes, yeah, dang it. And she goes, Tina, cheer up. We'll at least live right across the hall then. And Tina goes, yeah. And Maya hugs her from behind, going, and you can have a special surprise every month. And Tina shivers at this. And Maya blows on Tina's ear. And Tina shivers again. And Bakugo walks up behind both of them and smacks both their heads and going, hey, stop flirting in the middle of the hallway. And he used an explosion on Tina's head or Tina wouldn't have felt it. And Maya goes, oi, you know I could slam you into the ground like the little paperweight you are. And he goes, I know. No flirting in the hallway. At least do it to the side of the hallway. And he points to a little dark alley area. And she goes, damn, you're right. But I hate it when you're right. And he goes, yeah, now get to the exam before we're all late. And they go, oh, crap. And Maya phase walks through the walls, and Tina starts flying down the hallways at max speed with her explosions and her rabbit strength. And Mirko is a aunt in this one to Tina. So that's where they got the rabbit quirk from. So Mirko sees Tina in the crowd and waves, and President Mike goes, hello, listeners! And he explains the exam, and Tina has her ears bent down in a pained expression because Mike is loud. And all of a sudden, Tina can't hear anything. And her ears don't hurt anymore. And she looks around and everybody's staring at her, and well, they're not staring at her, they're staring behind her. And she dips her head down and she can hear somebody yelling, barely yelling. And it's, oi, old man. And he goes, yes, little listener. And she goes, can't you see that some people have an enhanced hearing, so your loud freaking quirk is hurting them? And he goes, well, I'm sorry. I just need to explain this and I'm done talking. And she goes, no, you're going to continue talking even while we're fighting in the practical exam. So quickly speak. And then quiet down, or I will do what I did to her ears so she doesn't get bloody ears from ruptured eardrums to your throat where you can't talk or breathe. And he hears this and he goes, okay, I'll quickly get through this. And Tina looks back and her ear is outside of the bubble now because the bubbles aren't moving with her ears. They're just staying in place. And okay. And Maya waves, goes, yeah, sorry about that. And Tina goes, thank you, and turns back around. And she can't hear Mike, but she can read his lips because this has happened before where someone was loud and Maya protected her ears with the phase lock ability, or phase grasp, actually. And when she activated phase grasp, she gained the ability to use arms on her back. And these arms are blue with a reddish hue. Though one has a reddish hue, one has a purple hue, one has a green hue, one has a yellow hue, one has purple, green, yellow, red. One is just full blue. Another's white. And another's black. You can guess what the black one is. Good on ya. Good on you, mate. And she she has these arms, and it's a, and she is currently like, oh, cool, pretty blue arms, yay! Now stop looking at me. And oh, I'll be right back. And they start the written test after that outburst, and Tina bombs the written test. She absolutely bombs it on the smarts category. With common sense category, she aces it. The fighting category, she aces it. So the two out of three most important categories for this school, she aces. On to the practical exam. He explains the robots, and Ida doesn't have his outburst because he's like, okay, I'm going to only explain 3 out of the 4 because the 4th is just an obstacle. Now let's continue. And he's quickly speeding through it so everybody can get out there, and he's not yelled at again and threatened by Maya because he was freaking scared of her. But whenever she activates her quirk, they see a faint ring of arms around her, and at times when she bubbles something, they see wings. And they're completely just awestruck at how beautiful the wings are when they see wings, and the arms are. So, when she starts fighting, Tina has to make sure no one's looking at her, or they would get hit. So Tina's basically drawing their attention, and she's being a nuisance to everybody. But she's still racking up more points than everybody else. So she gains 120 villain points. She gains 5 hero points. And Maya, on the other hand, gains like 20-ish villain points and like 200 hero points. Because she locks the robots in place, and then the other people break the robots down. And the 0 pointer comes in. And it was like, oh, just bubble it. We'll take it down. And she goes, I can't bubble that. And they all look at her and go, what? And she goes, that's too big. I can't bubble that. But I can crush an arm. And she uses the bubble and crushes the arm. And she goes, there you go. And Tina goes like, oh. And she looks at Maya and goes, toy? And Maya goes, yeah, toy. And Tina goes, oh, yes. And she looks at the camera and says, you who've been spying on us, I got one question for you. And Aizawa clicks on the the PA and says, what is the question? And she goes, explosions! And she just darts off towards the 0 pointer, and Maya's laughing her ass off now, being like, oh, there's Tiny Tina's psychotic personality. And everybody in the observation rooms are like, what? That wasn't a question. And Maya looks at the camera and goes, oi, you, that sounded like a zombie. And he goes, my name is Aizawa. Bro Hero Eraserhead. What do you want? And she goes, sorry about my little friend. Her name's Tiny Tina. Well, her name is actually something Bakugo, but I still don't even know the first name. But everybody calls her Tiny Tina. And she's addicted to her quirk. And he goes, that's great. And she goes, also, when you answer the question explosions, because she phrases that as a question, and you must answer it by the time that she sees you, or by the time she leaves, just say yes. And Tina runs up to her, saying, the toy's gone! What next? And she looks over and sees the toy is, or in Tina's terms, toy is completely just beaten, battered, and bruised dented, shrapnel everywhere. And she goes, "You're a little scrappier than normal." And she goes, "They haven't answered my question." And Aizawa goes onto the PA and he goes, "I have your answer. Yes." And she goes, "Woo!" And he goes, "Okay." And he asks, "How many points did both of them get?" And Nezu goes, "Tina got 120 villain points and 85 hero points." And Aizawa goes, "The hell? What about her test scores?" And he's fully awake at this point. And Aizawa and Mike goes, "She bombed the intelligence test that we give to everybody, but the fighting strategy test she aced." And what was the name of the second test again? And Nezu goes, "That was a personal test that I'm grading." And she aced it. And he goes, "What the hell?" And uh, they go, "What about that one chick with the arms on her back?" And Nezu goes, "Well, apparently her quirk is called Siren, and she aced the intelligence test, she aced the combat test, and the personal test that I gave her, a special test that I gave her too. I gave everybody a specialized test to go around their quirk." And he goes, "Okay, so what score did she get?" "She got 3 out of 3 on the tests for perfect scores." And Aizawa's eyes widen, going, "How is that possible?" And Nezu goes, "It's happened before." And he goes, "Yeah, that kid had a supercomputer brain. Literally." And he goes, "True." And Aizawa goes, "So, what did she get for the score in this one?" And he goes, "For villain points, 25. For hero points, what the hell? 200 hero points?" And Aizawa goes, "Oh, God." And they're like, wait, what are you doing?" And he goes, "Put them in my class, make Maya the person that has the Siren quirk, the valedictorian of this year, and I will make sure that she is the valedictorian." He goes, "Okay." So that's the end of episode 1. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. You want to hear another story, eh? Well, tune back in next time. Talk to you guys later.